How's it going? James, OnlineCarShow.net. In this video, we're going to be installing the BMR upper control arms for the rear of the car in the 2018 Camaro SS 1LE. So without hesitation, let's go ahead and get this video started. Well, as some of y'all know, I've got a race coming up with Bubba Blue January 19th. The event is the second Saturday shootout with West Houston Muscle. It's in Sealy, Texas, basically at the Hennessy track. If y'all want to come out, it's a car meet slash drag race, so you don't have to race. Just come out, enjoy, spectate, you know, support me or Bubba Blue, your favorite car, and there's going to be a lot of badass cars racing that night. One of the biggest problems I had last time I faced Bubba Blue in Sealy was the wheel hop I had. Now this is partially due to the fact that my tires were pretty bald when I went out there. I added more low-end horsepower with the tune and headers, and it just equated to real crappy wheel hop on two of the runs. So this time I'm going to come back prepared. As y'all saw in the last video, we've got the drag radials on the car with the 17s for more meat. I'm planning on, next step of this is we're going to go with the BMR upper control arms for the rear. This should really strengthen it for those that, you know, are going to come at me with, you know, the Camaro 1LE's already got a really good suspension and all that, and it does. I'm not arguing with that, but I'm going to show you two clips here from BMR's footage that when they tested the 2018 Camaro, and I think it'll make you a believer in what I'm trying to do here.
Road course. In the meantime, we have already started the testing process for our upcoming line of 6th gen parts. We mounted cameras under the car and filmed during all forms of driving.
There are 5 links on each side of the 2016 Camaro's IRS: upper and lower control arms, upper and lower trailing arms, and a tow rod. Compared to the IRS links from the 5th generation Camaro and other IRS equipped GM vehicles, 6th gen links are very lightweight, but strength was sacrificed to achieve this. It's easy to see just how much the links can twist with just a little bit of force applied to them. The thin metal and open-ended design allows for large amounts of deflection. The factory rubber bushing is very soft and increases this issue. BMR Suspension's rear IRS components are built from heavy-duty materials with high-quality bushings and rod ends, effectively reducing or eliminating link and bushing deflection.
One of the things Chevy did with the 6th gen to shave weight was to take weight off the control arm and some of the suspension components. So that's why you're going to see, you saw that nasty bend and all that in the suspension. So this should help eliminate a lot of the wheel hop due to that flex and stuff in the components. I'm also planning to follow up with trailing arms and tow rods, so those videos will be coming shortly. So let's go ahead and see what tools we need and get it on the car. Well, after actually doing the job, I wanted to come back and redo the tools needed for the job that they had on their section. It wasn't quite complete with everything that I used, and you'll probably need. The big one, and it didn't say you needed it, but you are going to need a torque wrench. You're going to need to torque it to 81 pounds. You're going to need an 18mm socket. Any kind of adapter conversion pieces you need. You'll probably need a normal ratcheting wrench just to help, and a medium to short. An extension maybe just in case. And also I've got 2 different 18mm wrenches. One's a shorty and one's a little bit longer to put some torque on. You might need a hammer just to tap the bolts out from the stock if they've been in there a little bit, or if they're a little bit more difficult to twist out. And you probably should use this. This is an interior pry tool. You are going to have to pull a little tube away from the stock control arm, and I'd recommend a little interior tool to do that safely. And one thing they didn't include in the box, you will need 2 wire ties. This is to get the tube that you took off with the interior tube, the interior tool, back onto the new control arms from BMR, and to get everything looking nice under there. Also, one more tool you're going to need is a grease gun, and you can get some super lube from the BMR website when you order any of their parts, and this stuff's really good. That should be all the tools you need to get the job done, and honestly it wasn't that bad of a job once you had the proper tools and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and jack up the car. I'm going to skip over that part. Honestly, Lethal Camaro did a jack point video, and you need to go watch it. There's nothing to add to it. He did an excellent job on it, and honestly, he showed me different points than I was going to use, and I could have screwed up my car. So go out and watch Lethal Camaro jack point videos if you're not familiar with the jack points on the Camaro. Alright, well, I got the car all jacked up on jack stands, wheels off. I've actually already done the other side. It wasn't too bad at all. But I did want to show y'all a comparison of the stock versus the BMR control arms. Here's the stock one I took off the other side. As you can see, it's a little bit smaller. It's actually pretty rigid, except for the holes cut in it and so forth. But this was just amazing. Look how easily, just with my fingers, I can move the rubber bushing on the back. And as you can see with the BMR, there's no way you're going to move it by finger. A lot stiffer. First step is going to be, we're going to take our 18mm bolt and wrench, or socket and wrench, and unbolt the front, and then we're going to unbolt the rear, remove the bolts, and remove the control arm. You're also going to find that there's a little tube or wire that's attached to the bottom of the control arm. That will simply, found on the other side, just pop right off. We're going to reconnect that using wire ties or whatever on when we come back and install the new one. Then get your 18mm socket, take off this front bolt first, the outer, and with the wrench as well on the other side, and then 18mm and 18mm wrench on the inside, and remove the control arm. Alright, you'll also see how clean I got it all up in here. I used the Breakaway from Rev Automotive, one of my sponsors. This stuff works magic. I just simply sprayed it in there, then got a microfiber towel and just kind of wiped it off. So let's get the bolts unscrewed. Be sure to take note of which direction the bolt was facing. I usually keep them on the side in the same direction so I know which way they go back on. Now for the fun one.
"20 minutes later."
Yay, got her off. Again, be sure you keep the bolt in the same direction so you know which way it goes back on. Take the stock one out now. And we're going to put the other one back in. We want to start by just hand tightening the back, basically just to get it on there so we can get the front one in. Put it in there dry. We're going to come back later on with the grease gun. Alright, we got that hand tight. Now we're going to get the front. Got it hand tight. We're going to go back and tighten them both. And I'll probably start with the back, the harder to get to. Alright, once you got it semi-tight, you want to pull out your torque wrench. set it to 81 pounds, which I already have on this one. Should be good to go right there. 81 pounds. There's 81. Once you got it torqued down to 81, go ahead and get your grease gun out, pop it on the fitting in the back, make sure you feel that little snap. We're good to go. And we're going to do 4 to 5 times. And then pop her off. And lastly, we're going to take 2 wire ties, which they did not include in the package. You will have to furnish your own. We're going to put them underneath, one on the front, one on the back. Just like that, you're all done. We're going to put the wheels back on. She's ready to roll. Alright, well now that we've got it all back on the vehicle, we can lower it back down. You should be good to go. I am planning on installing trailing arms and tow rods next, so I'm going to leave it back up on the tow rod or on the jack stands for the next video. But if you are just installing one of these, you should probably go with the control arms. After seeing the bushings and the difference it makes there, it's probably going to get rid of a lot of the wheel hop and help to stiffen up the rear suspension a little bit, cornering, etc. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button below. As I mentioned, we've got a lot more videos coming up with the BMR stuff. I've also got a line lock video coming. We've got the American Authority rocker panels to install, so a bunch of stuff coming for the channel. Thank you all so much for watching my videos, and I hope you all have a great week.